Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening, madam and my fellow friends. We are from the Frederick Taylor Group. We'll discuss about scientific management by Frederick Taylor. My name is Imran Effendi bin Rusli, and in this discussion, we will talk about the history of Frederick Taylor, his background, his contribution, the principle of scientific management, its theory to the management context, and last but not least, conclusion. Without further ado, let's go into a brief history about Frederick Taylor. Frederick Winslow Taylor was an American mechanical engineer. He was widely known for his method to improve industrial efficiency. He was one of the first management consultant, and Taylor was one of the intellectual leaders of efficiency movement, and his ideas, broadly conceived, were highly influential in progressive era. He was born in 1856 into a Quaker family in Germantown, Philadelphia. His father, Franklin, was a Princeton-based lawyer and built his wealth on mortgages and banking law. Educated early by his mother, Taylor studied 2 years in France and Germany and traveled all across Europe for 18 months. In 1872, he entered Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire, with the plan to eventually going to Harvard and becoming a lawyer just like his father. However, due allegedly to his rapidly deteriorating eyesight, Taylor chose different path. Instead of attending Harvard University, Taylor became an apprentice patternmaker and machinist at Midvale Steelworks. At Midvale, he was quickly promoted to time clerk, journeyman machinist, gang boss over the latte hands, machine shop foreman, research director, and finally, chief engineer of the company. In 1911, Taylor summed up his efficiency technique in his book, The Principle of Scientific Management, which in 2001, fellow of the Academy of Management voted the most influential management book of the 20th century. His pioneering work in applying engineering principle to the work done on the factory floor was instrumental in the creating and development of the branch of engineering that is now known as industrial engineering. Taylor made his name and was most proud of his work in scientific management. However, he made his fortune patenting steel processes improvement. Taylor was also an athlete who competed nationally in tennis and won the double title in US Championship.
Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Wakar Ali from Frederick Taylor Group. Today my presentation topic is Frederick Taylor theory. Scientific management, often known as Taylorism, is a management philosophy that inspects and synthesizes process in order to increase labor productivity. He suggested to use scientific management approach by manager and develop precise standard process for doing each job. Select worker with appropriate abilities, train worker in the standard procedure, carefully plan work, and provide wages incentive to increase output. Taylor's idea was the first of several business theory on motivation. According to Taylor, workers were just driven by money. Manager can add by breaking down each employee job into smaller, more double tasks. All staff should get training so that they can do this responsibility in a stable manner. Workers should be paid on a piece rate basis, which is dependent on how much they create. This will result in a win-win scenario. Workers are motivated to work hard in order to earn more money. Firm are runs efficiently and profit are maximized. Objective: Frederick Taylor contribution to management and his main goal, the maximum improvement of worker. This improvement demonstrates efficiency and value. The specific objectives are to enhance production and productivity, decrease cost of production, and maximize prosperity both for employer and employee, having common interests, not opposite to each other. Prevent the wastage of time, reduce the cost of production, secure the labor in the industry, increase the efficiency of the worker, develop the relationship between worker and manager.
Hi, my name is Noshwada, and today I would like to share with you guys about the principle of scientific management theory. The first principle is science, not the rule of thumb. The Taylor suggests that the management should apply the scientific approach in making their decision. The adaptation of scientific method will make the management can identify the most efficient way to perform the work, and it will lead to the improvement of organization. The second principle is harmony, not discord. The second principle explains how the management can scientifically select and train the employees to improve the skill and also the proficiency. The Taylor prioritizes that it is important to create a harmony between the group of employer and also the employees to avoid the conflict. The third principle is cooperation, not individualism. The Taylor claims that both management and the employee need to genuinely cooperate to ensure that all tasks can be done based on the principle of science, and it will achieve the greatest result. Last but not least, the principle of development of every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. The management need to focus in developing, designing, and supervising to improve the system. By performing this method, it will create almost clear division of work between the management as well as the worker. And the most important thing, it will avoid the intervention in performing the criticism of this theory. The first criticism is the inexistence of theory of intentional and bounded rationality. In performing the decision making, the management will face the uncertainty. So this theory will hinder the management to make a rational decision as they need to follow the scientific approach. The second one is the Taylor claim that unscientific method is limitation is not correct because it's more to safeguard the social interest. Moreover, the theory cannot be classified as the signified as it not yet look at a better way to work. Even though the Taylor is known as the pioneer of largest revolution in division of labor in the world. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To continue presentation from our group, my name is Muhammad Rafi bin Zainal. Together with me is Nurujana. We will discuss about Taylor's scientific management strategy to Malaysian context. So without further ado, continue with number one, the rule of thumb. So to increase organization efficiency, the rule of thumb should be substituted by method developed through scientific analysis of work. So what is rule of thumb? Rule of thumb means decision taken by manager as per their personal judgment which can be lead to bias or incorrect decision. So according to Taylor, even a small production activity like loading iron sheet into a box car can be scientifically planned. This will help in saving their time as well as human energy. All decisions should be based on scientific inquiry with cause and effect relationship. Relating to modern business world, it is evident how Taylor's idea influence and still shape the business environment. For example, one research have been conducted in 2016 regarding implementation of ISO quality management system or ISO QMS in construction companies of Malaysia. As a result, our company agreed that implementing ISO 9001 QMS in their respective companies make management of work becoming more systematic. There are clear working procedures and that to need be followed by all employees. So moving to second principle of scientific management introduced by Taylor, the selection of the workers. This principle is deemed as the most relevant one until today. One common example where this scientific principle is the use of psychologists to conduct interviews in order to determine the use of suitability of an applicant to take up certain position. To achieve a world-class civil service, continuous effort in developing effective personnel must be made. Effective personnel are of high quality and have a high value of professionalism, according to Michael, 1993. And this effort have been mobilized by the government through the formulation of the value and ethic policies in the public services, according to Zulkarnain Awang, 2004. So these are two principle scientific management. To continue on another two principle, I would like to welcome Nurul Jannah. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurul Jannah. I will continue to discuss about the approach of theory in public sector. The third point is management and labour cooperation, bringing together the trained worker and the science in order to offer opportunities for expression of employees' need and better treatment is illustrated by the third principle in scientific management. Most managers try to maintain safe and healthy workforce in order to improve their productivity. This has led to the coming up of legislation such as OSHA in Malaysia. The main function and purpose of OSHA is to encourage employers and employees to create effective safety and health measures at the workplace. In the construction industry, OSHA is important as it provides a safety and health policy that must be defined and recognized by both parties, that is the employees and the workers. Overall, employers such as contractors have a duty to make sure the construction site is safe and free from health hazards, as well as to follow any rules and regulations outlined in the Act. The last point is training the workers. Use of Institut Tabiran Awam Negara Intan in Malaysia is an example of how science has been used to perform in selecting the right persons to undertake various training to get the greatest efficiency and prosperity. This principle emphasizes the need for distinguishing the roles played by each group in an organization. This is done by dividing the work in the organization into two large components, which is management and workers. This division gives the management higher responsibility than the workers, as the functions of the management is further by fostering the importance and need for the management to exercise the four management functions effectively. These functions include but not limited to planning, organizing, controlling and leading. Modern management evolved as a result of scientific management. In order to maximize productivity, Taylor established the science of problem solving. This gradual shift away from an ancient, rigid and ad hoc system has been added by the use of industrial psychology and behavioral sciences. Taylorism has provided new insights into modern-day project management in the blooming era of science and technology, assisting individuals at all levels of any organization to recognize the importance of the human factor and its contribution, as well as the systematic education of processes in maximizing output. Thank you.